For thousands of years, China was ruled by emperors, generals, and scholars. But behind the walls of palaces and the pages of history books, there was another world. A world of music, poetry, beauty, ambition, and tragedy. They were called courtesans. To many people today, the word suggests only one thing. But in ancient China, some courtesans were far more than women selling companionship. They were singers, poets, artists, and sometimes women who influenced the decisions of powerful men. Their stories reveal a forgotten side of Chinese history, a world where beauty could become a source of power, but also a life of uncertainty and suffering. In ancient China, the world of entertainment was very different from today. Courtesans, known as ji in Chinese history, existed for centuries. They were not all the same. Some were simply entertainers. Others were highly educated women trained in music, poetry, painting, conversation, and traditional arts. The most famous courtesans were often expected to be intelligent and cultured. They spent years learning how to play instruments, write poems, and communicate with scholars. In many ways, they became companions to educated men who valued art and conversation. However, behind this elegant image was a harsh reality. Most women did not choose this life freely. Many came from poor families. Some were sold during difficult times. Others entered the entertainment world because they had no other way to survive. Their talent could bring them fame, but their social status remained low. The Tang and Song dynasties were periods when Chinese culture reached extraordinary heights. Cities became centers of art, literature, and entertainment. During this time, famous courtesans became part of the cultural world. In cities like Chang'an and Beijing, wealthy officials, merchants, and scholars gathered in entertainment districts. They came not only for pleasure, but also for conversation, music, and poetry. Some courtesans became famous throughout the empire. Their names appeared in poems. Their performances were admired by nobles. Their beauty became legendary, but their lives were complicated. They could be celebrated in public, while still being rejected by society. They could influence powerful men, while having little control over their own futures. One of the most famous courtesans in Chinese history was Li Shishi. She lived during the Northern Song dynasty. According to historical accounts, Li Shishi was famous for her beauty, talent, and musical ability. Her reputation became so great that even Emperor Huizong of Song became interested in meeting her. The emperor was one of China's greatest artistic rulers. He loved painting, calligraphy, and poetry, but his obsession with art and pleasure also became a weakness. Stories about his visits to Li Shishi became legendary. A woman from a humble background had attracted the attention of the emperor himself. For a brief moment, she stood close to the highest power in China. But history changed quickly. The Song dynasty faced invasion from the north. The capital fell, the empire collapsed, and the fate of Li Shishi became uncertain. Her story became a symbol of the fragile world of courtesans. Fame could disappear overnight, and beauty could not protect someone from the storms of history. Why did powerful men seek the company of courtesans? The answer was not only beauty. In traditional Chinese society, elite men were often surrounded by strict rules. Officials had to behave formally. Court life was filled with ceremony. Courtesans offered a different world, a place for conversation, music, and emotional connection. Some courtesans became trusted companions of influential men. They could pass information. They could introduce people. They could shape opinions. But this influence was dangerous. A woman with too much influence could become the target of criticism. Society often blamed courtesans for the mistakes of powerful men. When emperors failed, when officials became corrupt, people sometimes pointed fingers at the women around them. They were praised when things went well, and blamed when things went wrong. The romantic image of ancient courtesans hides a painful truth. Most did not have the freedom enjoyed by ordinary people today. Their beauty was valuable only while they were young. As they grew older, their opportunities became limited. Some disappeared from history. Some became entertainers for wealthy families. Some tried to escape their past and start new lives. Their stories remind us that talent and intelligence could create opportunities, but they could not completely overcome the limits of ancient society. The courtesans of ancient China were not simply figures of romance or scandal. They were women who lived in a complicated world, a world where art and suffering existed together, where beauty could create influence, but not always freedom. They stood between two worlds, admired by the powerful, yet separated from respectable society. Their names may not appear as often as emperors or generals, but their stories reveal another side of China's history, a history of forgotten voices, a history of women who survived in a world that gave them very little power, yet sometimes allowed them to leave a lasting mark.